Good afternoon, my friends. I just wanted to do a little video because I've had a crazy busy week and I haven't really even been able to post on my Facebook. And so I'm down in my art studio and I'm working away, and I started thinking, if anybody else ever decides to paint on plastic, maybe they would find this helpful. So I started doing this mailbox, and this is actually something special that I'm doing for my parents only. This is not something that I will do and sell as commissioned work. So please, but if you want to do one, I'll always help. This particular piece, what I did was, for plastic, the most important thing is your prep work. Make sure that the plastic is sanded and that you need to give it a rough enough texture to rough it up so that the paint and the gesso will adhere to it. You can also use a plastic primer, which I ended up going with gesso because I have it in my house and I use it on all my canvases. It's readily available to me. I didn't have to buy anything for it. But in hindsight, now that I've worked on it and I've done the prep work, I would probably go with a plastic primer rather than the gesso. And the plastic primer you can get from, I'm just looking at, I got a bottle over here, Krylon. Krylon is one of the companies that makes plastic products, which are very good. Sorry about all the shaking. One of the things on my to-do list today is to get a tripod because I really want to show somebody when I'm painting, because for other artists, I think that'll really help. It helps me anyways. I do watch video tutorials all the time. So for people who are self-educated, that it would be really great. Anyway, the top of this piece right here, where you see the flower and the butterfly, these are done. The side, I don't know if you can see it, the side of it right there is done. I'm working on this flower right here. The center of this one needs to be fixed. And this one here is still needing work. So this is what they kind of look like when you're doing them. Now, don't be discouraged when you're painting on plastic. It takes many, many layers when you're using a paint on plastic. This is acrylic paint. What I recommend, you do not need to use heavy body paint. Don't use your expensive paints on this. What I use and what I really like is Liquitex Basics. It's archival. It's pigmented enough that you get good coverage and good layers. As you can see, this is how I did it. I go in with my white. Now, you have to layer your white, and then once it's dry, go back in with your paints, glaze your pigment over top of it, and it ends up looking, I don't know if you can see this one here because it's work in progress. See how it's kind of streaky? I'm going to lift this so there's no shadow. See how it's kind of streaky right here? You can see right in here, that's where I'm going to have to go back over with the white. And you have to be patient. You're looking at this particular one, I think it's probably got 7 or 8 layers so far. Now, what you can see, what you're doing is you're building your opacity in layers to make it smooth, to make it look like a smooth transition. And if you're doing a flower, you want to keep your brush strokes going in the direction of the strokes of the petal. So that way it looks more realistic. Then what you do is you take your darks, you put your darks in, put your full dark where it's going to be dark and opaque. And then as you're coming up the petal, you're going to just use a little bit of water and almost use like a glazing technique just to pull the dark back up. And you need to do it almost seamlessly, but first, before you even get into that, you got to do this, and you got to build up your whites and build up the opacity of each of them. Because if you go to layer it and it's not even and it's not opaque, it doesn't have the proper opaqueness and the proper values, then it'll look streaky like this. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And then when I'm done, I've got a special plastic outdoor varnish for this particular piece, and my parents will have a really beautiful mailbox. And I'm so excited to give it to them. I was supposed to varnish this like 4 days ago because the varnish does take 7 days to cure. But it's worth it. It's worth it to take your time on something like this and really make sure that it's done right. Especially when you're putting that much work into it, you want it to be special. It's like a one-time thing that you're going to do for somebody or for yourself, right? So, yeah, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. I've been crazy busy this week. I've been contacting printers and working on getting a calendar together. And then when I went to go and into my previous prints that I had done in a different town, I couldn't get my files opened. So I had to contact my old printer to try and, so he's going to send me a new USB stick, and so that I've got it for next week. And hopefully I still have enough time that I can pull calendars together. If not, I'll still be doing the prints, and I've still got some upcoming art shows in my local area, North Cobalt, New Liskeard, Tri-Town area, and I hope I can see you guys there. I'm going to go out there. I won't really have a lot to sell, but I want to get myself out there and just say hello and say, hi, I'm Angie, and this is where I'm at, and this is where my studio is, and, you know, I'm offering lessons to children in January. I've got 4 students right now. There's still a few spots open. I don't want to do very big classes. I need small class sizes. So I'm just getting myself out there. I hope you all have a terrific day. And once I turn this off, there'll probably be a million things that I wanted to tell you. But if you have any questions about painting on plastic or what paints to use, what products to use, send me a message. I'd be happy to help. Have a great day. Ciao.